Greetings everyone, welcome back to my channel Data Sculptor. Today we are going to see the second question that is asked in FLIPKART Data Analyst SQL interview. So this time we have a table called user transactions or user activities, not transaction. So you have the columns ID, activity time and type. So for every type you have three types: login, scroll and logout. So for every type you have the activity time present here. So the question is, based on this data, you need to categorize all the users into either light user, medium user or heavy user. So now let's try to understand what is the logic behind this. So what is the rules that you need to follow to categorize these users. So the first rule is, if the average time is greater than 60 minutes and less than 90, then it is light user. If the average time is greater than 90 and less than 120, it's a medium user. If the average time is again greater than 120, then it's a heavy user. So I have mentioned it wrong, but it's average time is greater than 120, then it's a heavy user. So now let's see the solution. So the solution here is, or the approach or the method or the approach what you have to follow is, first you need to filter out all the login time separately in a CTE, and for every login time and for every user, based on the activity time, you need to assign a rank. So the rank 1, 2, 3, 4 based on the activity time in ascending order. Okay. Same way for the activity type, for the type logout, you have to assign a rank Rn is equal to Rn based on the activity time in ascending order. So once you have filtered out, you have created two separate data sets for activity, for login and logout, and you have created rank Rn1, 1, 2, 3, 4 and all. So now what you will try to do is, for every ID, for every activity time, you will have to find the difference between the login and logout. So Rn1 you will have some activity time, and for Rn1 logout you have some activity time. So you need to take the difference, and here activity time will be nothing but the day of the activity. Okay. So based on the day of the activity you will find the activity difference. So here what the scenario can be that for one ID you can have multiple, in the same day you can have multiple sessions, so multiple time differences will be there. So here the primary key is ID. Here you do not have any primary key, because for ID you can have multiple activity times in the same day, and because you can the user can log in into the system multiple times on the same day. So here the activity time will be in day format, and here the time difference will be the difference between the login and logout for that particular session. And after you calculate this, you calculate the activity time for total time. So here for every ID and for every day you find the total time. So whatever total time difference you have calculated, say for January 1st, if you have two sessions and first time difference is 30 minutes and second time difference is 40 minutes, you make sure that you sum up this 30 and 40 and show 70 here. So here in this CTE or in this temp data set, for every ID and for every day, what is the total time spent. So after this you will have, for a single user you will have multiple days and multiple time spent in a single day for that particular day. And next is, based on this you have to find the average time for a user. For every day you will have to find the average time. So for one ID you will have only one average time, and based on the average time, this logic you need to follow. So hope you are clear with the approach and also the rules. So now let's go back to SQL Server Studio and see how to solve this using SQL. So now, as discussed, this is the data we have. So we have the three users, 1, 2 and 3. We have 2 days of data, day 1 and day 2, and you have login, scroll and logout, and this is the input data. So you have a lot of records, around 36 records. So now, as we discussed, first we will separate out the login data and logout data and create a row number or the rank for each value. So first select from user activity where type is equal to login, and if we write the select star, for all the users whatever is the time, I mean the data available for each and every user, the login we will get. So now what we will have to do, we will create one more column, row number. So row number over partition by ID, order by activity type. So the reason why we are doing this is, So to calculate the difference between so here if you see the input here, so to calculate the difference between the login time and the logout time, so we always know that a logout comes after login and a login comes, the second session login comes after the logout. So here that's why for each and every login we are creating a row number, and for each and every logout we are creating a row number. So here the logout, this is the first logout and the first login. So that's why the login and logout pair will always be having the same row number. So if you do not use the row number function, what we'll have to do is login. If you see, this is the first session and this is the second session. So to identify this first session, second session, that's why if you see here the login time for the second session is 12 and for the logout time for the first session is 8:30. So 8:30 is ahead, 8:30 a.m. and 12 p.m. So that's why we cannot find the difference between these two, right? So that's why we are creating a row number here for each and every login and logout, and for that particular session we are assigning a session number. So basically this row number is nothing but the session number, okay, for each and every user. So now if you calculate, run this for each and every user for login times, for each and every login time you are assigning a row number, okay. And now I'll keep this in a CTE called with login time as this particular query, and the next thing I will create logout time, and I'll copy the same query here, and instead of login I'll keep logout, okay. So now we have the login times and the logout times. So as discussed earlier, we need to calculate the difference between the login time and the logout time based on the ID and the this RN row number column which we have created. So now I'll create a column called CTE called time underscore diff as select from login time A inner join logout time B on A dot ID is equal to B dot ID and A dot RN is equal to B dot RN, okay. And here A dot ID comma, so here if you see in the login times you have the date and time, right? So let's convert it into date, because in the next CT we have to calculate the total session time that the user spent over a day. So what we'll try to do, so this activity cast activity underscore time as date, okay. And here since you have multiple activity times in both login and logout, I'll create login. I'll consider the A dot activity time as, again I'll create activity underscore date comma date diff. We have to use the date diff function because we want to find the difference in minutes. So minute comma A dot activity time comma B dot activity time. So to calculate the difference between the B dot activity, the logout time and login time, this is the date diff function we have to use. So if you see the arguments interval, you want to return the date difference in minutes. So the first argument is minute, and the second is starting date. So the starting date is always the login date. So that's why it is login times activity time, and ending date is always the logout date. So logout times activity time as date diff, sorry, time diff, okay. So this is so if you do select star from this particular CTE, this is what we get. So for every user ID, for every date, whatever is the time spent. So if you see for the user ID 1, for the first session the login time is 8 and logout is 8:30. So here 30 minutes is spent for this particular session, and in the second session login time is 12 and logout time is 12:30, and again 30 minutes is spent. And for the day 2, login time is 9 and logout time is 9:40, so 40 minutes is spent. And again for the second session, login time is 14, that is 2 p.m. and logout time is 2:45 p.m. so 45 minutes. In this way, for every user we are trying to calculate the session time for each session on that particular date. So now if you see for the user ID 1, on the 1st of October, the user has spent 2 sessions with 30 and 30. So what we'll have to do is, for every day we'll calculate the total time spent. So for that I'll create one more CTE, total underscore time as select id comma activity underscore date comma sum of time diff as total time from this particular city, time diff city, and group by id comma activity date. So, when we run this query, what will happen? For the user ID 1 on October 1st, you will get 60 minutes, and for user ID 1 on October 2nd, you will get 4 plus 85 minutes. So, next after once we now let us see what is the output here. Star from this is the total time CTE, and if you run this query, 60 and 105 is not 85 it is. So, for every user, for every date, what is the total time spent? Now, for the categorization part, we need to find the average. So, average of the total time spent. That means for user ID 1, it is 60 minutes in October 1st and 85 minutes in October 2nd. So, the average is 60 plus 85 divided by 2. So, the total time we have to calculate the average based on this data. So, how do we calculate? So, now select from total time. Here it is id comma average function we can use, and total time as average, and here it is group by id, and if you run this, you will get the average time for each user spent. Okay, average time each user is spending over a period of 2 days. Now, based on this average, we have to categorize. So, what we have to do is, so we know the rules. Average, so average is greater than 60, less than 90, then it is low user. So, average greater than or equal to 90 and less than 120, then medium user. Otherwise, average greater than 120, then high user. Okay. So, this is the logic. So, now we have the average time, and for every ID we have the average time. So, now let us apply the case statement. So, case when average of total time is less than or equal to 60, and average, so this particular average of total time is greater than or equal to 60 and less than 90, then low user. Okay. So, now what I will do, I will copy this and replace the values, and now here it is greater than or equal to 90 and less than 120, it is medium user. Okay. Else high user. Okay. And as user underscore type. So, for now, using this case statement, we are categorizing the IDs based on this average of this total time. So, now if you run this is what you get. So, for every user, you will be assigning the low user or high user or medium user based on the average of the session time. So, first based on the data, you have to calculate each and every session time based on the login and logout. Then per particular day, you have to take the total session time spent, and then based on the days, you need to take an average and then categorize. So, this is the flow, this is the approach, and this is the solution. So, that is it. That is the question you need to, this is the answer for this particular question. So, if you like this, please click on the like button, and please also click on the subscribe button, so that I am uploading videos regularly once in every 2-3 days. So, if you click on subscribe button, you can get notification directly, and you can practice as per your needs. So, good luck and have a nice day. Thank you.